Hi, my name is Tshego. Welcome back to my channel. If it's your first time here, welcome. As you've seen from the title, I'm going to be showing you guys how I created these gorgeous bouncy curls. So if you want to see how I got this look, stay tuned. So let's start off with what you're going to need to achieve this look. So you're going to need the star of the show, which is a hair straightener. This is a little affordable one that I got by Tresemme. I got this one at Clicks just before lockdown. I think you can still get it there, or Discam. And then I have my little tong, and this is a very old one. As you can see, it is pretty much done. I've had this for many years. It's by Safeway. You're not really going to use this tool to curl your hair. I just like this, using this for the final step of getting rid of any flyaways, but this is honestly not necessary. You're also going to need 2 combs. So I like to use a wide tooth comb to get the knots out of my hair and comb through it before I start sectioning it off. I also try to always use a wide tooth comb on my wigs or my weaves, just because I feel like it helps with preventing any kind of hair loss or shedding, because obviously this is a sewed on piece of hair, so you know it's gonna fall out a lot easier than normal hair would. So I like using a wide tooth comb on my wigs and my weaves. And then you're also going to need a little thin toothed comb, and this is great for sectioning out your hair and also perfecting your hair parting. I also have some clips here to help me with sectioning off my hair, and yeah, I'll be using these throughout the video. And then finally, I have this anti-frizz heat protector by John Frieda. Honestly, I feel like you can use any one. This is just the one I recently bought. And yeah, that's pretty much all the tools you're going to need and one product to achieve this look. So as you can see, my hair is very clean and washed. I washed it yesterday so that it would be prepped for this video. I didn't use any conditioner on it. I only used shampoo because I wanted it to be as dry as possible, because obviously now that I'm going to be curling it and I'm going to use some of this, I will be adding some moisture. And so with wigs, you don't want them to get too greasy, and especially with this look, because you want the hair to still be bouncy and have a lot of movement. So yeah, the hair is very clean and washed. I just shampooed it. I didn't use any conditioner on it yesterday. And I don't always use conditioner on my wigs. Sometimes when I do a deep clean on them, I just want to use shampoo to get rid of all the oils from obviously the products that I use on my natural hair underneath my wigs. So yeah, hair is clean and let's get into it. Okay, so I start off by halving my hair down the back. And so I'm gonna start off with one side and then finish off with the other. I hate that I always start with this side, because I feel like this side requires a lot more effort, because there's a lot more hair if you have a side part on this side, and you obviously want the curls on this side to look really great, but just it's habit. Out of habit, I always start on this side. So we're just gonna leave this side as is, and then okay, I'm happy. And then I'm gonna start off by just making 3 sections of the hair, because that's just going to help me with getting through the hair and just feeling like, you know, I'm getting shit done. Excuse my French. Okay, so now that I've sectioned this side off, I'm going to start with this bottom bit. And I would say I make small to medium sized curls, just because you want to mix it up. So I think with this bit of hair, I'll probably do about 3 or 4. And anyway, I'll show you as I go. So I'm gonna start with this piece here. And with this first piece, I am going to curl away from my face. So I hold the straightener like this, position it downwards, and then I hold the hair, and then I just start twisting and pulling. And as I twist, I pull again. As I pull, I twist again. And that helps with achieving a perfect and seamless curl. Can you see how perfect that curl is? So that was the first curl. So for the second curl, and I keep alternating. So for the second curl, I am going to curl it inwards. This helps with giving you more of a bounce versus a wave, because I find that sometimes if you curl all the curls away from your face, then they eventually just form into one another and it just looks like a perfect wave. Whereas if you go in and outwards, then it doesn't allow them to kind of just form and it creates more volume. So I do the same thing, but now I'm going to curl inwards. So I hold the straightener like this. And I twist and pull again. I don't know if you can see that the curls are going in two opposite directions. Why am I blurry? Come on. There we are. And then with this third piece of hair, I'm gonna break it up because I do want some of the curls to be a little thinner than the others, and then I don't know, I feel like it allows for a little more texture to the hair if the curls aren't all the same size. And this one I'm also gonna do away from my hair, away from my face. And you see this one, I let go of my straightener before it could perfectly curl. That's fine, I'm just going to grab it and then just twist. And there, it's perfect. Okay, so I've done my first third of the hair on that side. So now I'm gonna unclip this bit of hair, push the curls back. So you don't want to comb out your curls while they're still warm. You just leave them as is. As they cool down, do your thing, continue curling the rest of your head. I'm gonna speed you through some parts of the video just so that we're not here for hours, but I'm gonna talk you through this again just in case you didn't understand. I don't know if I'm explaining it properly, but I hope I am. So you take your straightener, position it downwards, clip onto the hair, and then you start twisting and pulling downwards. Twist, pull, twist, pull, twist, pull, twist, pull. And there's a perfect curl. And then we are gonna grab some hair here. And then with this one, we're gonna curl it inwards. So inwards, you do the same. You're holding the barrel downwards, but this time you're going to be twisting this way, inwards. Not away from your face, but towards your face. So twist, pull, twist, pull, twist, pull, twist, pull. One facing downwards, latch onto the hair, twist, pull, twist. So kind of like creating a little spiral. Okay, so I'm gonna start speeding you off so that we're not here for 10 years. And I forgot to mention one thing. You want to make sure that the heat on your straightener isn't too hot, because even if it's a wig or a weave, this is still hair, so you don't want to damage it by creating too many split ends by putting too much heat on it. So I use it at a medium heat, so I use it on the second setting, And sometimes if I just want to actually perfect the curls from like 2 days ago, I then use a lower heat setting, because obviously the hair now naturally has some kind of a curl pattern or wave from the previous curls, so there's no point in putting too much heat on the hair. So that's just something you should note.
Have to be your biggest fan, and when things are really tough and they're really rough and nothing's working, but there's something inside of you that says, I just have to follow that, because you don't know.
Also, sorry if I'm not looking into my lens. My mirror is behind me and it's just easier to see in the mirror versus the monitor. So yeah, we're almost done with this side. Okay, so we're almost done with this side, and what I do with these last pieces of hair that are closer to my face is that I make sure that they all go away from my face, because you don't want to do curls that go into or towards your face. I feel like that's very aging and old school, so it's very youthful to have like very flicked, bouncy curls that are going away from your face. So these last 2 or 3 pieces I'm going to curl away from my face. I think I'm going to split this into 2 pieces, just so that the curl isn't too big and doesn't fall too quickly. So the thing about wigs and weave and curling your hair is that, because obviously it's not your hair and it's not attached to a root, it doesn't hold on to moisture or curls very easily. So the bigger your curls, the quicker they're going to fall. So with the curls that are closest to my face, I try to make them as small as possible, because they are usually the first curls to go, because you're constantly touching your face and moving the hair away from your face. So I try to make smaller curls towards the front, because then that way they'll last longer. And as you can see, there's like little gaps in between where I'm twisting, just because you don't want your curl to be too tight that it looks very dated. And then, oh, actually this is important, I need to tell you this. So with the curl that is closest to my face, or the piece of hair that is closest to my face, I'm not going to start twisting here, just because it won't frame my face nicely. So you want to start twisting around your cheekbone. That way it helps with defining your cheekbones and your face, and it just looks a little more youthful as well. Because if you curl it from here, it's going to look very granny-like and very pageant queen-like. So you can see I'm pulling first, and then I start twisting when I get about a quarter away from my face. So you can see this is nice, and it's framing my face very nicely. Okay, so now that we're done with this side, we're just going to leave it to cool. I am not going to add any product to my hair, because again, this is a wig or a weave and I'm not trying to wash it every day. I don't like adding products to my wigs or hairsprays or anything that will cause it to get very greasy or tight. I try to leave it in its natural state as much as possible. So just going to let those cool and rest. So this side will naturally have a lot more hair to get through, because it's obviously a side path. Okay, so I'm going to do the same thing I did on this side. Just create 3 or 4 sections just to make it easier for me to get through the process and get through the hair. So for some reason, the right side of my hair takes a little more effort, and it's got something to do with my hands. Like, I don't know why. This side is so much easier to get through than this side. Anyway, we're gonna do the same thing as we did on the other side. So because there's a little more hair here, I think I'm gonna end up doing about 4 or 5 curls. So So one facing down, and then you twist and pull. And there you have it, a perfect curl. You know, I know a lot of people say you shouldn't care about the bottom pieces of the hair because no one's going to see them. But with this hairstyle, I feel like if you don't make every single curl as perfect as possible, obviously it doesn't have to be like super cohesive, then eventually as your hair starts falling, especially when you do it on weaves and wigs, the curls that aren't as tight as the other ones will fall a lot quicker. And so by the end of the day or halfway through your day, you're going to end up with strands that are a lot straighter than the others. So try and get your curls as tight as possible, even in the bottom pieces of the hair. Okay, and then this curl, I'm going to do it towards my face. So facing down, but this time we twist inwards, pull, twist and pull. So you're twisting and pulling at the same time. I'm so sorry I'm not looking into the lens. I'm finding it very hard to look into the lens and focus on what I'm doing. So sorry about that. As you see, I pulled away too quickly, so nothing wrong with that. You just curl it and it's good. Just make sure that you're going in the same direction as the curl, because you don't want to end up with a wonky curl that's going in opposite directions. Okay, I'm going to get about 2 sections of hair here. And because this one's closest to the inward curl, we're going to make sure that it goes in the opposite direction of that curl. Because otherwise, if I make it in the same direction, then the curl's just going to form into one another. Twist and pull. Twist and pull. And you don't want to pull or be so tight on the straightener that it pulls out your hair. You can see a little bit of hair that came out of there. But I'm very aware of not holding or closing the straightener too tightly onto my hair, because the last thing you want is to cause any shedding to your wigs and your weaves. Okay, and because this one's going away from my face, actually I want to make it a little tight. So you can see this one came out a little looser than the other ones, so I just want to tighten it up. And there's nothing wrong with making a mistake and having to go back. Just be quick, because you've already applied heat onto the hair, so you don't want to stay too long on that hair because you've already put heat on it. Much better. Okay, and now we're gonna go in this piece. Okay, so I'm gonna speed through the rest of the hair till we get to the front, and then I will show you what I do there. Also, don't worry about that steam. That's just the product that's in my hair. It's not burning my hair off while my wig off. You know what I mean? I find that doing the back pieces can sometimes be a little tricky because you can't see what you're doing. So, you know, just practice makes perfect. Like now I can feel my way through what I'm doing. But it does get tricky sometimes, especially with the curling. So you can see I'm struggling a bit on this side. It's always, when I get to the back side of my right side of my head. It's always a bit tricky, but I always eventually get it right, and there we are. Ha! I win. So I'm doing the same thing even though I'm at the back part of my hair. Should I say the top part of my head? Some curls I make them go away from my face, and some I curl them inwards. And then we're gonna break this up into 2 sections of hair. Okay, so the same thing as I did on this side, because we're getting closer to the front part of my face or my hair, we're going to make these curls a little smaller and tighter so that they last longer. So I always check to see which direction the last curl I did went. So this one has to go away from my face, because obviously this one's going towards my face. We don't want the hair or the curls to intertwine and then just look like so we're gonna make this curl go away from my face, and I try to be a little tighter. I know the curl looks very matronly right now, but it's not gonna look like that. Okay, I'm gonna break this into 2 pieces. I could have made it 1 curl, but I want to perfect these curls for you guys. So this one's going to go away from my face. I think that these last 2, I'm gonna make both of them go away from my face. And because I still have a lot more hair to work with on this side, I don't mind that the curls on this side are so high up, while the ones that are towards the bottom, because that's gonna help with giving volume and also achieving that very bouncy flick you want. So it's fine if these bottom curls are a little tighter, because you won't really see them, but they help with adding a lot of volume to your hair. So now we're at the top of the hair. We're gonna break this up further. So this back piece of hair, I'm gonna curl inwards just for effect. And because it's still quite far away from my face, it's not going to really show. And this last bit of hair, we are going to curl away from my face, because that's what's going to give you that flicked out effect. Okay, so now that all our hair is curled, we just have to wait for the curls on this side to cool down, so you can have some coffee. These front curls are still warm. So you don't want to rush this part of the process, which is the cooling down phase. These front pieces are still very warm. And those are the ones you want to last the longest. So actually, if you're going to an event and you want your curls to kind of last longer, I would suggest that you use a little bit of hairspray, maybe in the frontal pieces, just to hold the shape, but not yet. I would say spray towards the end once you've brushed them out, but right now they are still cooling down. So I don't want to brush the curls out too quickly because then they haven't cooled down properly and the curl hasn't formed properly. So all that time you spent curling your hair would have been a waste, because then they're gonna fall in like 15 minutes. Nah, not 15 minutes, but fairly soon. So now we just sit, more sitting. Also, I'm so mad at myself that I haven't been shooting my videos here. Look at this background, it's so pretty. Well, so much prettier than the lame background I've had in all my other videos. And the reason I wasn't shooting in front of my vanity mirror is because I thought that this side bit of my closet would block out the sun, but in fact, it's perfect. So mad at myself. But this is gonna be the background we use from now on, which is my bedroom. I was about to say something so terrible, but no. Anyway, I love getting comments on old YouTube videos that I've posted. I love that people are still watching them. It makes me happy. And it makes me happy when they like them. Because I do put in quite a bit of effort. And I try to make the videos as creative as possible, you know? Make it my own. Let me know if you appreciate that, actually, that I try and put a little creative spin on my videos. I have been sitting here for about 8 minutes and my hair still isn't fully cool. So you need to have patience for this hairstyle. It's not a hairstyle you can just do really quickly. I mean, you could, but then just know that your curls are going to fall a lot sooner than they should. But because I put in all this effort for the video, I want these curls to last. So I think in about another 5 or 10 minutes, the hair would have cooled off properly. So that means I would have spent about 10 to 20 minutes on just letting the hair cool. Which is fine, it's not like I have anywhere to go. Okay, I am over waiting for these curls to cool down. I would say they're about 85 to 90% cool, so it's fine. I'm not too pressed about them getting super cool. What you could also do if you have a lot of time on your hands and you know you have a few more hours before you have to go anywhere, is that you could take the curl, scoop it into your hand like so, and then you would use little bobby pins, or you could even use clips like this, and you just hold the curl in place and go about your business if you don't want to sit around like this. That way it actually helps also with setting the curl and keeping it curled a lot longer. But I usually don't do that step because I do like it when the curls eventually fall and look very natural and wavy. Okay, so now that I am ready to comb out my curls, I'm gonna start off by combing them out with my fingers. So I'm going to put 1 drop of this in my hand and in between my fingers, and then start off at the bottom of the hair, never at the top, because you don't want to create any knots. And this anti-frizz as well helps with creating less frizz as you comb out the curls with your fingers. So just going through the hair and breaking the curls apart as much as possible. Okay, and now you're going to go in with your wide tooth comb and just brush the hair out. Woo! Look at that. I'm just gonna comb through a little more. So annoying, I don't know why I'm so excited. Like, I've never done this before. It's just honestly sometimes and some days it looks a lot better than others, and today I think it came out exactly how I hoped for it to. And you see, because I didn't add any product or use conditioner, the hair has so much movement. I'm so embarrassing. I'm so happy with how this hair turned out. So what I'm going to do now is wet my hands just a little bit. I'll be back. So I've wet my hands a little bit and I'm just going to go over the top of my hair just to help getting rid of the fluff. This is a great way to get rid of fluff without having to use hairspray, especially on weaves. But you don't want to touch the curls with your damp hands because obviously then it's gonna destroy the curl. And then I take my little tongue and I also take the tongue to create that little swoop. I don't know what to call it. I take the tongue, I pull the hair back like so, and then I make a little indent there. And you can also do it on this side if you want. You don't have to do this. I like doing it. Make sure you don't burn your face. I've burnt my face so many times, guys. So there you have it. This is the final look. Woo! I love these curls. I swear I can't stop looking at myself in the mirror and the monitor. But this hair honestly elevates any old outfit. I mean, I looked so drab before, and now with this hair, I just look so fabulous. It also kind of reminds me of those old school Pantene hair ads. Remember, you'd see the girls just like but I love this hairstyle because the curls have movement and you can just play around with it. If you are blessed with long hair, the nice thing about it is that with a wig, obviously, because now I've set my part, it has to stay this way. But if this was your natural hair, you could even like play around with it and move it to the side and it would stay. But obviously because I've set my parting, it just looks a bit crazy and automatically wants to fall that way. But so that's it for this video. Thank you so much for tuning in. I hope you guys try and recreate this back at home. If you have any questions, just comment down below and I'll definitely get back to you. And yeah, thank you always for engaging with my content. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you in the next one.